So this is an example to illustrate how we can determine the mode of raw set of numbers, and to also go ahead to find out what type of data modal distribution that data set can be. So an example here, the question says that determine the mode for the following data sets and identify the type of modal distribution. So we are doing two things. We are going to first of all determine the mode for each of the data sets that we have over here, and to go ahead to find out what type of modal distribution is each of the data sets representing. So to proceed, the first one is 2, 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, 4, and 6. So if you examine this data set carefully, you can see that only one of the numbers has occurred more than the rest, and that number is 0. So in this data set, the mode is the number 0 that occurred 1, 2, 3 times. The rest have occurred less than 3 times. So the number 0 is the mode for this data set. And because there's only one mode in this data set represents a unimodal distribution. So it is a unimodal distribution because only one of the numbers has occurred more than the rest of the numbers in the data set. Take note of that. Example 2, we have 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, and 7. If you examine this data set carefully, you will notice that 2 has occurred 3 times. Well, 2 is here, 2 is here, and 2 is here. Again, 4 has occurred 3 times. We have 4 here, we have 4 here, and we have another 4 here. Then 0 has also occurred 3 times. We will have 0 here, 0 here, and 0 here. So since 3 different numbers have occurred at the same frequency, we are going to have 2, 4, and 0 as our modes for this data set. And the type of modal distribution is going to be a multimodal distribution because more than one number has occurred at the same frequency. So we call this one the multimodal distribution. And the modes in this data set are 2, 4, and the number 0. The third example, we have data set given as 5, 3, 3, 0, 1, 4, 4, 6, and 8. By careful observation, we will realize that in this data set, 3 has occurred 2 times. We have 3 here, we have 3 here. Again, 4 has also occurred 2 times because we have 4 here and we have 4 here. So the modes for this data set are 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So we have 2 modes in this data set. Now, look at the type of modal distribution. Look at the way I put it. If you say it is multi, you will be right. But if you add and say it is multi in the bracket by, you'll be more right. Because if remember I said in multi, more than one number has occurred with the same frequency. So since we have 2 numbers having the same frequency, it's multi. But because there are specifically 2, there are exactly 2 modes in that distribution, it is also called a bimodal distribution. So to be more correct, you can say multi. If it is written, if it's essay, you can say multi and bracket open and close bi. So you know, you understand what we are talking about when it comes to types of modal distribution. But if it's OBJs and the answers are multi, bi, and all those ones, if you choose multi, you go down because bi is more correct than multi in this circumstance. Now, look at the fourth example. This one is going to explain another modal distribution I didn't mention in the introduction. I'm making to you 3 times. That was the unimodal distribution, the bimodal distribution, and the multimodal distribution. But there's another one, there's a fourth one, which I did not mention in the introduction. and this example is going to illustrate that. There can be an instance whereby all the numbers occur with the same frequency. All the numbers in the data set occur with the same frequency. In this instance, there is no mode, because mode refers to the number that has got the highest frequency, or the numbers which have the highest frequency, in case you have bi or you have multi. But in a case whereby you have all the numbers occur at with the same frequency, in that case, there is no mode. It's not zero. Zero is a number, but there is no means there. So if you look at this here, the number here 0, that is occurring with the highest frequency. So that's the mode. So that 0 here refers to a number that is having the high frequency in this data set. But when the numbers occur at the same rate, there's none that has a high frequency. In that data set, we say there is no mode. If you say 0, you are wrong. 0 is a number in this particular case, but you say there is no mode. So we call that data distribution non-modal distribution. None or null. Sometimes you can say null modal distribution or non-modal distribution. In other words, there is no mode among the numbers in the given set. So that is the fourth type of modal distribution I want to illustrate to you by this example. So if you read the handout, we have 4 there as I explained. But I forgot to add it or to include it in the introduction. So it is being added here, and when you read the notes in addition to that, you can understand. But remember, we have 4 types of modal distributions. That is unimodal distribution, bimodal distribution, multimodal distribution, and then the non or the null-modal distribution. So I have put some examples in the handout that are not like this, that are not the same as this one. So study this one, add to the handout, and to complement your learning of modal distributions and how to determine the mode given a set of data set. We shall turn our attention to how to determine the mode of grouped frequency distribution in our next video or in our next meeting. Thank you and have a nice day for yourself.